It all began in an ordinary apartment where nothing strange had ever happened before. A young woman named Anna had just moved in. The place was old, cracked walls, the smell of dampness. But it was cheap and had a big window that overlooked the city. While cleaning, Anna found an old mirror leaning against the wall, covered in dust. Its frame was thick, wooden, cracked, as if it had survived generations. She wiped it clean and looked into it for the first time. Something about the reflection felt off. The light in the room seemed dimmer in the glass. Her face looked slightly paler. She laughed it off. "Just an old mirror," she said to herself. That night, she woke up to a faint sound, like someone scratching glass with a nail. It came from the room where she'd left the mirror. Anna walked out of her bedroom, turned on the light. Nothing. Maybe it was just the neighbor's cat, she thought, and went back to bed. The next morning, while getting ready for work, she glanced at the mirror again. For a split second, she could swear her reflection blinked a moment later than she did. Just 1 second, but enough to make her skin crawl. By evening, the strange feeling grew stronger. Whenever she passed the mirror, she thought she saw a shadow flicker behind her. She would turn, and the room would always be empty. A few days later, things escalated. Objects were slightly out of place, the lights flickered, and at night she could hear breathing. Soft, steady, right behind her ear. One evening, while drying her hair in front of the mirror, the power flickered again. The lights went out for just a second, but in that brief darkness, Anna saw someone standing right behind her in the reflection. A tall, black shape, faceless, with long, smoke-like arms stretching toward her. Then, the lights came back. The room was empty. She screamed, dropped the hairdryer, and covered the mirror with a sheet. From then on, she avoided it. But every night, even with the mirror covered, she could hear faint tapping sounds from beneath the fabric. 3 knocks, always at the same time. On the 5th day, she decided to get rid of it. She dragged the mirror outside and left it by the dumpsters. Walking back home, she felt lighter, relieved. But the next morning, when she woke up, the mirror was back, standing exactly where it had been, clean, dustless. On the glass, written from the inside, were the words, "Don't hide from me." That was the last time anyone saw Anna. The neighbors later said they heard noises that night, something breaking, someone screaming. When the police forced the door open, the apartment was empty. The only thing left was the shattered mirror on the floor, and in every piece of broken glass, there was a face staring back, not hers. The night was cold and eerily silent. Jake sat on his couch, staring blankly at the TV screen as the clock struck 2. His house stood on the edge of town, an old building with cracked walls and creaking floors. The wind rattled the shutters, and outside, a light drizzle pattered against the window. He was about to turn off the TV and head to bed when he heard a knock at the door. Not loud, but distinct. 3 slow, deliberate knocks, as if someone didn't want to wake the neighbors. Jake frowned. Nobody ever came by this late. He walked to the door but didn't open it. He just looked through the peephole. Nothing, just darkness and the dim flicker of a streetlight across the road. He sighed, shrugged, and turned back toward the couch. But then it came again. 3 knocks. Boom, boom, boom. Now his pulse quickened. He peered through the peephole once more. Still nothing. But this time, there was an envelope on the doormat. Jake hesitated, then slowly opened the door. Cold air brushed his skin. The night was utterly still, not even the sound of rain. He picked up the envelope. There was no address, only a name scrawled in black ink. J. Reed. His name. He carried it inside, switched on the lamp, and tore it open. Inside was a photograph of his own house. The same door, the same porch. Except in the window beside the door stood a shadowy figure. Jake froze. He turned to look at the window. Empty. He stepped closer, peering at his reflection in the glass. Nothing but his own tired face. Then, a faint rustle behind him. He spun around. The door. 3 more knocks. He didn't look this time. He shouted, "Who's there?" Silence. Then, breathing. Right on the other side of the door. He backed away, heart pounding. Suddenly, the hallway light began to flicker. The TV turned itself on, showing a shaky video feed of his house, Live. The camera was moving closer to the door. Jake realized whoever was knocking was filming him. The knocks came again, louder this time, more impatient. Jake ran to the kitchen, grabbed a knife, and came back. But now, the front door was slightly open. A cold wind swept in, snuffing out the light. He stood frozen, staring into the pitch-black doorway. Then a whisper, right next to his ear. "You opened it too late." The next morning, Mrs. Hall, his neighbor, called the police after noticing Jake's door open and his TV still on. They didn't find Jake, only an envelope on the porch with a new photograph inside. It showed Jake himself, standing in the doorway of his house, eyes wide open, staring into the darkness. Sam worked as a food delivery driver, and he hated night shifts. But money was tight, so he took whatever came in. Around midnight, he got a strange order. No name, no details, just coordinates leading to the far edge of town. When he arrived, there were no lights, no other houses nearby, just one old wooden home with a dim lamp glowing in the window. He honked, no answer. Knocked once. Silence. Then a woman's voice came from behind the door, trembling. "Leave the food on the porch, please." Sam frowned. "I need a photo for confirmation." "Just go," the voice whispered. He snapped a quick picture, and through his phone camera saw a figure standing by the window, perfectly still, watching him. He stepped closer, uneasy. Then came a faint scratching sound from inside. The same voice again, softer now. "He'll wake up. Please leave." Sam froze. Then a loud thud, a woman's scream. He shoved the door open. The hallway was empty. The air smelled of mold and something metallic. On the floor, the food he'd just delivered. Then breathing. Right behind him. He turned and saw a woman, pale, blank-eyed, standing in the doorway. Her voice cracked as she whispered, "It's too late. He's already here." From above came slow, heavy footsteps. Sam ran. He jumped into his car and sped down the dark road. When he finally looked at his phone, the order had vanished. The screen read, "Delivery canceled. Customer unreachable."